Right, start the recording again. Okay, so thoughts then. Actually, that's a good point. Who played Seer? I'll have a look at that later. Seer and the second sister, I think it is. They're very familiar actors. I need to try and find out who they are, but we'll find that later. Anyway, having completed the game, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 points to grade this game by. So, going through my thoughts, story, overall narrative. I really like the narrative and the story. I think everything just seemed to flow very well, and the pacing of it was very well done. I don't think at any point there was any lull, and if I wanted to explore a planet, I could do. I think I realised that far too late in the game. Because whenever you get to that planet, so that's when I should go and explore previous planets to find those secrets that I couldn't access before. But because the story is so interesting, I just carried on. So I think that's a good sign of me wanting to carry on and just get engaged with the narrative overall. So no real complaints of the story from my side. I think everything is well written. I think the characters bounced off each other well. I think Cal didn't do anything out of character. Everything was fairly believable. Had some wonderful sights in it. So yeah, I think story-wise, is there anything bad I could say about the story? No, I don't think there is. Yeah, it drip-fed you Cal's background story, which is nice. Nothing felt overly forced, and everything flowed well. The overarching story is very interesting. Him getting off a planet and then going on his own little adventure. It does sort of cut off, so it doesn't feel like a complete game, but I know this is just the first. So the ending does feel rushed, is only my thing, but it's a budget thing, I think. Yeah. If it was a solo game, I think you're right. I'd be there asking for more and finding out what else happened. But because I know there's another game afterwards, yeah, I think it's fine where it is. But yeah, I think you're right. I'll probably do a little bit more. I mean, as I said, I think you're right, because I said, as my first initial thoughts, I did not expect the credits to be there. I didn't expect the game to end as quick as it did. There are bonus fights. No, thank you. That's enough. So yeah, I think I would like to have seen more of the stories, but yeah, I think you're right. But everything else worked fine from the intro right to the end. So I think story-wise, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Personally, is my rating. The next points are the characters, their design, personality, development, and believability. I think this is a solid 10 out of 10. I can't think of anything bad about the characters. Cal gets his own development arc, which is fine. Seer gets her development arc. They bounce off each other very well. They all have their individual personalities, their own desires and beliefs and wants. At no point I felt like any of the characters were forced. So yeah, I think that was very nice. I think the only thing that was missing was maybe, yeah, Saul Guerrero. Saul Guerrero is a bit of a weird one. He was sort of like a side character who just comes and goes. So I think it's fine for this. You saw the ninth sister at the very beginning, and she sort of just appears as a side boss. I felt like there was more story there that could have been told, but didn't really care about her. But yeah, the whole thing between Seer, the second sister, and then Seer and Cal bouncing off each other with a bit of that betrayal sort of feeling, I think it was solid. Love BD1. BD1's great. And Grease was pretty solid as just a supporting character. He does has his own little wants and grubs. He even had his own arc with the whole mercenary sort of thing. It would be nice to see more of the bounty hunters, but they might pop up later. We like Saw a lot more after you finish Andor. Oh, really? He's in Andor. Ah. I've yet to watch anything beyond like the first episode of Andor. Star Wars nails it with droids and aliens. Yeah, some of the aliens are incredibly funny, especially the Rhodian kids. They're just so weird. Yeah, I need to watch Andor actually. But yeah, character-wise, I think I have to give it a 10 out of 10. Based on that, I don't think there's anything they've done bad with it. So characters, 10 out of 10. I think this is going to end up a very high-scoring game. Music and sound, perfect. Everything was excellent. It felt very much like Star Wars. I don't think there was a point where I got wowed by the soundtrack and just sat there and listened to it. But it felt like a Star Wars game. And I think that's perfectly fine. Just for consistency, because I think I gave Expedition 33 a 10 out of 10 because I just stopped and listened to the soundtrack because I enjoyed it that much. So yeah, I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10 just because of that wow factor. It wasn't quite there to stop me. But yeah, it was spot on. It did feel like very much a Star Wars game. So music, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 only for consistency purposes of my previous comments for other games. Gameplay, mechanics and gameplay loop. Fairly solid. The majority of the game is fine. Don't think there's any really egregious parts of the game. The puzzles were fine. The fights were fine. Some of the bosses are very annoying, but that's just sort of bosses and fights were annoying, but I think that's fine. Mechanic wise, it was good. Would have been nice to see treasure chests once they've been found. There's no quick travel either, so that's another gripe, I think. Like me coming back to a planet and then going, Jesus Christ, there's a whole labyrinth I need to go through to get to the end. So yeah. But the actual combat itself, I think was fine. I love the Force. It felt like it was a Padawan coming to his own. He has the difference between Cal and Darth Vader was like night and day, and that was fantastic to see. I thought like when I finally got all my powers, like I can handle pretty much any fight, and then like, the last boss just kicked my ass over and over again, and Darth Vader was like, nah, you're not even worth fighting me. So that was great. Navigation is frustrating at times, not traversal. That's great. Yeah, navigation, yeah, definitely. I would have liked to have seen them pick up or flag treasure chests once you found them the first time. A major gripe of mine was that once I found one of those early treasure chests, but I couldn't slice it, there was no way I was going to remember where they all were. So yeah, that was a bit of a gripe on my part. But yeah, overall, I think it was good. It was solid. I think they could have done the fast travel a little bit better. Yeah, there's some really annoying fights, but I think that was just part of the challenge. I personally really struggled when there were frontline fighters who are supported by back row ranged units. So I always had to go deal with the ranged units first, which is part of just part of my tactics anyway. But yeah, it's sort of, I felt like it never gave you enough openings to get in an attack or something before your guard broke. So sometimes them swarming you is a bit of a pain. But I think that's where the later powers come in, and I just didn't realise that early enough. I stuck with it as just a combat thing. If I had the force push and the group freezing power, I think I would have had a little bit more easier of a time. But yeah, maybe some is my fault. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll give gameplay an 8 out of 10. The majority of it was good. But yeah, there's some really annoying parts and some gripes. Graphics and visuals, so I'm just going to give that a flat out 10 out of 10. it depicted the Star Wars universe perfectly fine. There were some sites where I went, that is really beautiful. I stood around and admired some of the maps. So yeah, I think that's testament to the level design. But yeah, the graphics held up quite well. It's not a very old game, I don't think. I say not old, it might be 5-6 years old or something like that. Holds up really well. So yeah, graphically, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. So yeah, that is the final score. So what we got? Yeah, it's a fairly high scoring game. So we have a 9 for story, 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5. So 9.2. Yeah, 9.2 out of 10. And I think it deserves it. It's a very solid game. It's certainly, I think, the highest scoring game of all the ones I've played so far, with my own personal rating. Game of the year? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is Game of the Year so far, out of all the games I've played. So, testament to how good it is, actually. And I am not a huge Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars. I think I liked it more since they released the remakes, which got me to watch the previous movies more, and then all the extra bits. So yeah, I like it. I think it fits. Would I recommend it for 2026? Absolutely. Do I have any caveats for playing it? No, I don't have any caveats. I think it's a game that everyone should give a go at some point. I do like the fact that they've got multiple difficulties. I played it on the 3rd difficulty, which I think was fine for me. I got the right level of frustrations before I finally passed my challenges, and I felt challenged. So that's great. But yeah, I think the 2nd difficulty would be perfectly fine for people who just want to stroll through it and feel like a badass the entire game. So yeah, I think this is very solid. Don't think there are any other faults for it other than it's a bloody brilliant game. So go play it. It's very fun. Yeah, those are my thoughts. And I'm signing out the recording.